The audios I'm working on are taking a little bit longer than I thought, and I think the earliest one might not be due until Monday. So I decided to do a little idea I've been bouncing off the walls for a little now. I call it Fun Question Friday. This is not the Q&A. This time, I ask you a few questions. So please write your answers down below in the comments. I'd love to see them. Let's get started. Question number 1. I want you to think about some of your aspirations, your desires, your dream house, for example. In fact, between these 4 options, which of these would you pick if you could only pick one? Option 1 is your dream house. Option 2, your dream car. Option 3, your dream physique. And option 4, we'll call it your annual dream vacations. Now, there are some stipulations to help you with your decision making. For the house, we're going to assume that so long as you have a source of income, you can afford the house. As far as its designs, the backyard, the interior, have fun designing it, whatever you'd like. Just, I imagine, keep it within the laws of physics. Maybe that'll be a question later down the line. Now, if you ever want to switch locations, after all, sometimes what makes a dream house is the ambiance. Simply buy a new blank piece of land, and for this context we'll just say that it is somehow going to be affordable, and then the dream house will move itself by some magical means to this new location. You're going to have to use your imagination for that one. For option 2, just like the dream house, so long as you have a source of income, you will be able to afford the dream car. And of course, cars get newer models with each year, newer versions and upgraded versions of themselves each year. So if your dream car changes over time, well then the next car you buy will become that new dream car, even if it has to morph itself into it. Now I know what some of you are probably thinking, so I'll just say that this morphing effect doesn't take place until you sell the old car and buy a new one. In other words, the dream car is a dream car, not cars, so can't buy 10 cars and then watch it morph into that dream car. Well, only one will. Like I said, you'll have to use your imagination for some of these answers. But the point of it is, would you rather have a dream house, a dream car, or option 3, your dream physique? For this one, we'll say that health-wise, shape, height, whatever you want it to be, your body will become that dream physique. Now, it has to be physically possible according to modern medical journals. So basically no superpowers, but that's for another question another day. However, the dream physique will maintain itself. So no matter your diet, no matter your exercise routines, no matter how much time goes by, the dream physique will stay exactly as you want it to be. Lastly, the annual dream vacation. This one may not seem like a whole lot compared to the other 3, but if you pick this option, then every year for the rest of your life, you may pick somewhere in the world to vacation for 3 weeks. No matter what you pick as your vacation, food, lodging, and transportation will all be paid for, no matter how high-end or high-budget the price may be originally. And yes, just like the other 3, this one follows you for the rest of your life. Every year, a dream vacation wherever you want. Question 2. This one's a would you rather statement, and both the options almost made it into question 1, but these options seemed a little overpowered, I'll say. I say overpowered because one of the options could technically grant you all 4 options in question 1, whereas option 2 may even grant you something better than any of the 4 previous. So for question 2, would you rather have your dream career or the partner of your dreams? See, I imagine most of you would probably pick a career that would allow you to afford all those things in question 1. And as for the dream partner, well, go crazy with designing them. So what'll it be? The love of your life? Or being set for life? And speaking of being set for life, question 3. Probably the question to really end all would you rather questions, but let's put it this way. Would you rather have $100 billion granted to you, or 10 wishes? There are only 3 rules behind these wishes, in case you're wondering. The 3 rules being, you cannot increase the number of wishes being granted, you cannot wish for money or assets that could be transferred directly into money, and you cannot undo the spirit of any of these 3 rules, meaning you can't just say, wish 1, I wish that these rules didn't exist, wish 2, da-da-da-da-da. And when I say the spirit of these rules, it means you can't say something like, well, I can't increase my wishes, but I can wish to grant other people wishes. Well, that increases the number of wishes, which is the spirit of that first rule. Sorry, I just want to create some balance between these two options. And for those of you economists who are wondering, Ycey, if you just took $100 billion and dumped it into the market, that would crash the economy, globally, perhaps. So I'll just say that, for one, you're probably overthinking this if you're thinking that. And two, we'll say that for the scenario, the $100 billion are legally funneled to you from various legal sources that won't have a dangerous impact on the economy. Sound better? So which would it be? 10 almost rule-free wishes, or enough money to really grant you perhaps any wish that you could ever want? Question 4. Now, every feat of strength requires a degree of durability. If you can lift 200 pounds above your head, then that means your back and arms should be able to withstand that amount of pressure being lifted above you. But for this question, it's going to sound ridiculous, but when has that stopped us in the past? Let's say you could only pick one or the other. Would you rather be able to lift up to 5,000 pounds without any effort? Meaning lifting 5,001 pounds would feel like you're lifting just 1 pound. Or would you rather be able to withstand 5,000 pounds of force, meaning you could probably get hit by a car, and you would immediately stand up, brush yourself off like nothing happened, not so much as even a headache. You're basically bulletproof at that point. What do you want to be, an unstoppable force or an immovable object? And speaking of movable objects and lots of strength, question number 5. You get 2 options. Would you rather have telekinesis, or would you like to be able to fly? If you choose flight, we'll say that the max height to which you can fly is 5,000 feet in the air. The speed at which you can fly is tied to your speed at which you can run. That being, you can fly 50 times faster than your maximum running speed. If you choose telekinesis, you will be able to levitate anything within a 20 feet radius around yourself, except for yourself. You can't levitate yourself off the ground, that's flying. Don't cheat. And as for the amount that you can lift, that is tied to your physical strength. And again, the amount that you can lift would be 50 times your maximum carrying capacity. Question 6, in case carrying yourself is too much. Which of these would you be more inclined to give up? Would you rather no longer require sleep, or would you rather no longer require the need to eat? If you choose no sleep, as the name implies, your body will no longer require sleep. You can still sleep if you want to, including dream, and you'll wake up exactly when you need to. You can set a little mental alarm, we'll say. You could stay up for 72 hours or more, and you wouldn't feel any of the negative side effects. Basically, every day you'd feel like you got an amazing night's sleep. On the flip side, if you give up the need for food, we'll just say that your body produces another means that's self-sustaining. Just like with the other option, you can still eat if you want to. You can still taste food. You may or may not have certain cravings. I'm just going to say in this scenario you won't even have cravings. Your body will just somehow create the energy that it needs and maintain itself on its own. And along with this option, I'll say that you don't need to drink water as much either. You still need it, maybe every couple of weeks you can go with a cup of water. That's about it. What this might boil down to is, would you rather save time or would you rather save money? Your choice. Question 7. We're getting to the yes-no questions. So you're presented with $3 million, or 3 million pounds or euros, whichever, if you got a better local currency nearby. But 3 million currency just appears out of nowhere and offers itself to you under this one condition. If you take the money, then every weekend, beginning at, let's say, Friday at 8 a.m. and ending at Sunday at midnight, a slasher's coming for you. Now, if you're wondering who this slasher might be, they technically don't exist right now. They just appear on the weekends. They will materialize out of nowhere. Let's say Friday at 8 a.m., several few dozen miles away or kilometers away, they'll appear, and they have a mental GPS regarding where you are. They could look different every time. One weekend they could be tall, one weekend they could be short. They could be stocky and big, they could be slim and small. They could be male or female. They will not be a child. I'm just going to get that out of there right now. You don't have to make a difficult decision. They'll be an adult, probably in their 20s to 40s to 50s, something like that. But they are coming for you, not anybody else around you like friends or family, unless said people get in their way. And yes, the slasher may try to take a different approach on how they'll try to get you. One might just be direct and head straight for you, one might try to lay a little trap for you. But like said, they're coming for you, not anybody else around you unless they get in the way. So, would you take the money at the expense of either getting chased by or having to fight off a slasher every weekend? Well, if so, if not, either way, here's another weird scenario for you. Question 8. A very strange businessman is coming to town. This businessman approaches you and says right up front, I know this is going to sound strange, but I'm willing to offer you money in exchange for toes. I will give you $1 million for every finger or toe that you give me. If you give me a thumb or a big toe, I will give you $3 million. If you give me the tiny toe or the pinky, that's only worth $500K. So, will you take the offer? And as a side note, if you do take the offer, how many would you give? Fingers and toes. You might need those. As much as I want to say this is a strange question, I'm sure most of you have heard stranger audios out there. Can't wait to see your answers below. Moving on. And finally, our last question. Every time you play a video game for the first time, more specifically, a game that has a start and finish, so either a story mode, campaign, or any other equivalent to that, wherein you, the character, have the possibility of dying. When this happens, the first time you play this game, starting now, you will be sucked into the game and have to play it live. The character's strength, stats, stamina, everything is swapped for your abilities. The exception being if they have any enhancements like genetic mutations, special equipment, armor, it will instead be tailored to you, so it'll be like you with some enhancements. Now, with this image in mind, you then need to play through the game without dying. If you can beat the game without dying, playing it from your perspective as if it were live, then you will get $1 million per game that you can do that. If you die in the game, you do not die in life. You will still feel pain in the game as if it were real, and you'll probably have to deal with the PTSD that came from dying in the game, but you'll just wake up in this world. And then every time you play that same game afterwards, it'll be a normal playthrough, no getting sucked into the game. So, would you do it? And if so, got a couple of games in mind? Write it down in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know what you think of these Fun Question Fridays. I don't plan to do these every Friday unless you guys ask for it. But every now and then, I think it's fun to throw out some questions. And hey, if you got a fun question you want to throw in one of these Fun Question Fridays, comment down below too. Anyway, thank you again for joining me. I'll be uploading audio roleplays again soon. In the meantime, you have a splendid day, you wonderful human being. And thank you again for joining. I look forward to reading your comments.